Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Alright, so last night on my shift, I thought I was attacked by a vampire, and I have this cut on my right hand. I haven't had any signs of an infection yet, or any signs of a transition into a vampire, so I think I'm okay. Issue was I ran out of steaks, but I think I'm going to be okay. And I know I'm going to be okay because of each and every one of you. There's this really big cut on my right hand, and a vampire came from behind me. I didn't see him, and I broke my steak off, and here I am tonight, dressed in black, ready to go on the graveyard shift again. But before I do that, I wanted to say that I hope all of your dreams that you had today, that you aspired to achieve, I hope they all became a reality for you, and if they didn't, don't worry, tomorrow's another opportunity for you to achieve that dream, whatever that dream is. And I really don't care what that dream is. I want you to know that everything is going to be okay, and everything is going to be all right. Because I know that a lot of people are telling you all the time that your dreams are not achievable, everything is not going to be okay, and they are being very pessimistic and love to bring you down. I never ever wanted to do that to you. I never wanted to discourage you, and I wanted to encourage you to be the best and biggest Descendants and Zombies fans in the entire world. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is the strongest force in the world, and a force that saved my life. It was a niche that I was very thankful and felt very blessed to have fallen into over a year ago. I knew the popularity of it, but I didn't think it was this incredible. You guys really put the pieces of my broken heart back together, because you're talking to a guy who has had his heart broken more times than enough. And I say that because in relationships, a lot of girls couldn't make sense of why I fell into this niche and why I was so incredibly supportive of Descendants and Zombies. I was incredibly supportive of it because of the love and the passion that we all share together. And as far as I'm concerned, if we're going to sink in a ship like the Titanic, if we're going to strike an iceberg, then we're all going to sink together, and there is no better niche that I would love to sink with and die with than each and every one of you. And I say that with 100% certainty because of just how much you have been such a critical impact on all of my life and so important to me for what feels like forever. More times than enough when I felt like I had nobody, I could jump on this podcast and I could tell you how I was feeling. And I could tell you crazy stories about how I was a vampire slayer and how I loved to slay vampires in the nighttime and how I felt shafted by Disney because I wanted to be a vampire slayer. In Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, if we get to Zombies 5, whatever the title is, regardless of it, whatever the synopsis of this one is that will unfold, by the time the cast is introduced and the future of it is secured, hopefully Jonathan Clarke will make it into the script as a vampire slayer, which he has been for years. I've killed over 5 vampires in the last 100 years. And it seems like I've been a part of every generation of entertainment and every generation of life. It seems like I've been there and I've witnessed it all. And I think that's what makes this podcast so intriguing to a lot of people. It's like I can talk about something as if I were there 100 years ago. Perhaps I was. Who knows? I've read every fairy tale there is to have read, from Alice in Wonderland to The Little Mermaid to Beauty and the Beast. And I love the novel synopsises and the direction of the plot. And I love how Disney changed it so much over the years. I love how creative Disney was. I share in the same passions as each and every one of you, and I think that we are far from seeing the end of the Zombies franchise, regardless of how many critics out there are telling us that we are running out of supernatural creatures to have examined into this one and to see their entry into the Zombies franchise, because as far as I'm concerned, we still have a long way to go with this one. You have no idea how many supernatural characters there are out there to introduce into this one, and how often there is a chance to get abducted by aliens, and every opportunity I have to try to get abducted by aliens, although I have never succeeded, I take myself up on the opportunity to do it. I can't even tell you how many times over the years when I was a child, how many times I would try to get abducted by aliens. Mom, Dad, go away. I'm trying to get abducted by aliens. Shut the window. Close the door behind you. I love this stuff. I am very infatuated by it. I'm very infatuated by the supernatural. The age-old question has always been where we go when we die, after our legacies have been left behind us. And I think that Meg Donnelly and Mila Manham's legacies have definitely been solidified through the power of this. And the Descendants cast have had their legacies defined through the power of this. They will leave a legacy that will never ever be surpassed and will forever be etched in the annals of time. Because time is the most precious commodity in this life. And we don't know, the thing about time is we don't know how much time we have left. So the question is, if we were in possession with a pocket watch, what would we do? Would we go back in time and fix all the mistakes we'd made? If we were bullied, would we forgive those who bullied us and treated us unfairly? What would we do? Would we go back and spend more time with the ones that we love? Perhaps you had a girl or a guy that you were in love with, that you want to go back in time and spend more time with and just tell them one final time how much you love them. Lord knows, I would love the opportunity to be in possession of a pocket watch just to do that, because there were so many girls that I loved in my lifetime that I wish I would have told I loved them more. I did tell them every chance I got, but you can never tell a girl how much you love them enough in this lifetime, because oftentimes life can be perceived to be very cruel. It can be very opportunistic, and people have more opportunities every single day that you open your eyes to really bring you down and catch you from behind, to catch you off guard. But there is never more of an opportunity to spread the words of kindness and to say I love you to someone who is very special to you. And I think that if I were in possession with a pocket watch, I would definitely take myself up on the opportunity to go back in time and fix a lot of the mistakes that I've made, because Lord knows I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been forgiven for those mistakes, and oftentimes I haven't been as good of a person as what I am now because of those mistakes that I made, but we are not held accountable for our actions, and I don't think that's what we're remembered for. Our legacies are defined through the path that we carve, and where we go when we die, and what we leave behind us when we die. And I want to leave an everlasting legacy and a forever imprint on all of your hearts. And you're going to have to forgive me for that. More times than enough, girls have left me because they couldn't make sense of why I fell into this niche and why I was so incredibly supportive of it. I can only wish that I would have found a girl and been in a relationship that I would have been able to keep. For the passion that I share for this franchise. I would love to have fallen in love with somebody who shared the same kind of passion as I did for Descendants and Zombies, especially Descendants, because more girls than enough that I were with had daughters that were infatuated with Descendants, and they couldn't understand why the guy they were with was so infatuated with when they weren't even really paying attention to what was happening and how the plot was unfolding. I was really excited when we would see new installments of Descendants, new chapters written for this, because I think there are endless of opportunities to create with Descendants. Regardless if we're talking about a movie to expand the franchise or a TV series called Oradon, there is so much of a endless opportunity to create with this one, and I fell in love with this, and I fell in love with it like a passion. And I want you to know that I will never ever quit on each and every one of you. According to all of you, for the latest video I put up regarding the Worlds Collide Tour, if I were to listen to each and every one of you, I would be running for President of the United States come 2028 in the 2020 presidential race and beat Donald Trump in the number of votes that will be cast in the 50 states. I want you guys to know I love you dearly, and I want to thank you for all your love and support. And actually, 20 years ago, when YouTube first premiered, and its first video was uploaded on April 23rd, 2005, around that time when Kylie Control was born, there was a conversation amongst forums on the internet of what would ever happen if Jonathan Clarke, yours truly, threw his name into the running for President of the United States and went up against whoever he was competing against to run out as the President of the United States. So you might have to go through some archives on various websites to find that. But if anything, for the political point of view of Kylie Control having been dragged into the conversation, if anything, Kylie Control has inspired me to run for President of the United States, and I will take a fair shot at running for President of the United States. I want you to know I mean what I say. And I will make a promise to each and every one of you that I will do my best to have America be through the eyes of Kylie Control, because she deserves to shut her eyes every night. I go back to last year. I believe it was February of 2024. And she was posting a lot of TikTok videos, but there was one TikTok video in particular where she was talking about how people were criticizing her for not being a Donald Trump supporter. I mean, it's kind of half and half. There are people out there who support Mr. Trump. There are people out there who don't. But I think that a Descendant star who is as beautiful as what Kylie Control is should not have her political point of view dragged into any conversation for whatever form or for whatever reason. Because you guys love Kylie Control. There is no denying that. You love Kylie Control. If you didn't love Kylie Control, you wouldn't be here. You're not here because you love me, or as far as I know, you're not here because you love me. So because you love Kylie Control, I think you deserve to hear nothing but the best about Kylie Control. And I want to separate this YouTube channel and its content from every other YouTube creator out there who devotes he or she's time to criticizing Kylie Control when they don't need to be devoting their time to criticizing Kylie Control, because I think she is incredibly beautiful and she is incredibly talented. And that goes without saying. I'm going to miss Ruby Rose Turner being a part of the Descendants franchise. If she wasn't going to be a part of the Descendants franchise, you could have at least introduced her as a new character like Rapunzel, regardless of whatever character you introduced her as. into the franchise, or you could have been a part of the Zombies franchise in one way or another. Even if you threw Descendants in there somehow to combine the two franchises for a big movie. There are endless opportunities to create with this, and that's why I'm really excited to see where we go from here. The futures are being secured. We are a long way away from Descendants 6 and Zombies 5, but I don't think that there is a chance that we will see this shut down or given up on. And if we were to believe what the critics were saying, we would all be saying, the hell with this. They've made enough Descendants and Zombies movies. Let's move on from that, and let's explore other avenues for Disney to go. I want you to know that I'm going to do the absolute best I can to secure the futures of these two franchises and ensure that they are going to last forever. Because you guys have accepted me more times than often enough when I felt like I had nobody. You guys pulled me from what seemed to be out of obscurity. You remember how Batman fell into the abyss in The Dark Knight after Bane broke his back? Well, you guys pulled me out of that abyss. In 2018, when I left for 7.5 years, and even when I went away from this YouTube channel for quite some time, I think I was gone for the better part of 4 months, you guys obviously wanted a hero, and you saw that hero in me. You found that hero in me. And I can't thank you enough for that. Your support and your love is what got me through everything that I've been through in my life. I lost both my parents at a very young age. They believed that I was going to go down in history for being one of the greatest podcasters of all time for my unique ability to tell stories. I love telling stories, and I love tying it into Descendants. As far as I'm concerned, my mom died around the same time Ruby was born. My mom died in October of 2005, and Ruby was born in October of 2005, October 16th of that year. So Ruby replaced my mom's soul, and as far as I'm concerned, I am fine with that. I am content with Ruby having been the soul that replaced my mom's soul. Because my mom left a legacy behind for being a teacher for so many years of her life. She gave 30 years of her life to the teaching system, and she was an incredibly beautiful soul who wanted to instill that anything was possible in the minds of everybody that she had the opportunity to teach. And now here comes Ruby spreading her own message of kindness. So knowing that a soul like Ruby exists in this world and is out there, lets me be very content, leaves me very content and very satisfied to know that she is inspiring each and every one of you. And I want Ruby to know that the same support that exists for Kylie Cantrell within my heart exists for her, no matter what she is going through and no matter what she is dealing with. I think that these Descendant stars are incredibly courageous for being so outspoken about every issue that is raised to them in a conversation, either for a podcast interview or personally or professionally off of these podcasts. Meg Donnelly loves to ask podcast interviewers how they got into podcasting, I guess because she just wants to find out what their story is. And I would love for her to call me up and ask me that question, because 30 years ago, all I could ever hope for on YouTube was that someone was going to hear my voice. All I could ever hope for on a podcast, that someone was going to find my thumbnail and going to click on it and listen to my whole story, because this is what a podcast is. It's a person's story, and it's about their legacy and what they want to carve into that legacy and leave behind. And the question is, can they do it? Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to come off it as inspiration? Because God knows I want it to be an inspiration for each and every one of you. I'll be the first to admit I've never played a guitar in my life. I don't know how to dance. I have never lifted over 200 pounds at the gym. There are a lot of girls who would choose that over any guy out there. But I think what you need to go for is something that you don't expect to find in somebody. Somebody who understands you for who you are. And if you can't find that level of appreciation from a guy, then you're pretty much wasting your time. You can go for the guy that drives the sports car, lifts the 200 pounds at the gym, probably lifts more than anyone you've ever seen in your life. But is he really that inspiring to you? Does he really care about you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And the biggest thing is, the biggest piece of advice that I can offer to anybody is, if he doesn't see you through your eyes for who you are, then you're pretty much wasting your time, and you need to remove yourself from the situation, regardless if it's abusive or not. I think the words "I love you" are never said enough, and I'm somewhat of a romantic guy, so I believe that is never said enough. I also believe that there is never enough kindness spread in this lifetime, and that's what I've made a consistent effort to try to do on this podcast, through telling you funny stories about my life, my own personal experiences, which I think you like hearing. And I think that is what's made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies for what feels like forever. Obviously, empowerment is something that the Zombies franchise has tried to instill in all of our minds to make us feel stronger than what we actually are. And I think that because people are still watching the Zombies franchise from when they were 9 years old and now they're in high school, getting ready to graduate, excited for Zombies 4 more than ever before, I think think they've come out on the other side of the spectrum stronger people. There are people now joining the gym because of zombies. There are people joining the wrestling team because of zombies. There are people joining the cheerleading squad because they saw the Addison character portrayed by Meg Donnelly so powerfully, because they have enough confidence to do it now. And I like that. I like reading down through the conversations and the forums for the different websites that are entertainment-based off of Zombies and Descendants, and every time it comes up in the conversation, I take myself up in the opportunity to read what you guys are saying about it, and I feel somewhat inspired by that. You know, I even took myself up in the opportunity to move into a residence that's actually 5 minutes away from a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. Because I find that somewhat exciting, and I find that a very effective way to experience what the plot of Zombies would actually feel like. You know, what would ever happen if a lime soda plantation actually occurred and it exploded? I think it would be a very dire situation because there is no way off of this island. Some of you guys don't live on an island, or at least I hope you don't, like Jurassic Park, hopefully you're well versed in The Walking Dead, although I could never make sense of the whole kind of thing, and then, you know, by season 5 I had enough of you know what I mean? And you know, I worked with a lot of TV shows in my past. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was fun. Everything having to do with vampires was fun. Twilight was fun too. But I think that this, you know, calling it a copycat off Descendants is not really giving it a chance. I know there are people that will immediately resort to calling it a copycat off of Descendants. I will admit this, the music was ultimately better in Descendants than what it was for Zombies, but that doesn't mean that Zombies can't come into its own. I think the music for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires is something to be really excited about. I love these music videos. And the funny thing was, when the music got better for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, everybody was criticizing it. It really pissed me off. Because that goes back to what I was saying here earlier about how you guys deserve to hear something better about Zombies and Descendants, because you really do. There are over 500 videos uploaded about Descendants and Zombies every day to this platform, and it really drives me crazy because it makes it harder for people to find these YouTube videos that I upload. People are finding them, but for the life of me, I don't know how. Probably you're putting a quarter into your computer's hard drive and you're popping up these Descendants videos, I don't know, or after your journey through the woods every single night, you find these videos. And I like to make them better than every other video out there. But having said that, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being an incredible supporter of this YouTube channel and being the shoulder that I found myself crying on every time something happened to me throughout my daily excursions. Thank you so much for that. I just recently lost a really good friend of mine. I was friends with her for years, and because of her infatuation with Bangladesh music, she fell in love with a Bangladesh singer, apparently, on Facebook. And he has only 1,000 subscribers on his Facebook fan page. His band does, himself and his band. I had something to do with indie rocking years ago, but he only has 1,000 subscribers on his Facebook page, and I have over 3,000 almost accumulated on this YouTube channel. So perhaps we can give him a taste of his own medicine, and we can blow this YouTube channel up for every single person who hits the subscribe button. I have triple the amount of subscribers he has. But again, going back to what a girl prefers and what her preference is, obviously she sees more out of him than what she's ever saw out of me, and she's not the only one. There are a lot of people who have just never been able to make sense of why I've been incredibly supportive of all the content that I've discussed and why I fell into this niche. I've been pretty much made the voice of Descendants and Zombies for the better part of the last 10 years, and this has been the most thrilling decade and the biggest honor of my life that has ever been bestowed on me. You guys could be listening to anybody proclaiming themselves to be the voice of Descendants and Zombies, because there are a lot of people who do that and think their podcast is the shit. But each and every one of you obviously see something really special in me. I don't know if it's because you love my voice and how it sounds and how I say things like one shouldn't expect to mess with the fabric of time and not expect to get away with consequences, because this is not the end of the story. This story is far from over, and you didn't think this was the end of the story now, did you? There are a lot of effective ways to really bring this one to life, and I felt really envious of the guys and the girls who have been a part of the opening monologues of Descendants, the opening and the final monologues of that, because I would have loved to have been the voice of Descendants for forever. But thankfully, every night I sit behind this podcast microphone, you guys have either inspired me to be president of the United States, to be the voice of Descendants for Zombies, or to run for NFL training regimen for the NFL. Obviously, Milo Manheim's character Zed has inspired me to do that. I did stuff with the XFL years ago when I interviewed the cheerleaders and put together the teams, but I have never done something with the NFL. But the chances of that happening again, I should not give up on my own dreams, and maybe that will happen. I don't know. Perhaps I'll have to go back to pro wrestling and fight Justin Bieber in a WWE WrestleMania steel cage match because of how Ruby Rose Turner claims that ever since she was 11 years old she's had the biggest crush on Justin Bieber, and I've been crying myself to sleep every single night since I heard it. I don't think I've ever cried myself to sleep this much since I heard that Sam and Cat had recorded its final episode and dropped it because Jeanette McCurdy and Ariana Grande couldn't get along and see eye to eye. I cried a lot that night, but ever since I heard that about Ruby and how Ruby was being turned down for roles, I thought that Ruby deserved more out of life, more than a TV that Justin was going to buy her from Best Buy, and I just ultimately wanted to give that to Ruby because I thought Ruby deserved something a whole lot better than what she was being given and how she was being perceived. I want Ruby to know that I am going to be forever supportive of everything that she has ever wanted to achieve out of this life. I will come out of that corner every single time the bell goes off, swinging as crazy as I ever swang before for someone like Ruby Rose Turner, because she is just incredibly beautiful for her message of kindness and how much of an inspiration she has been to each and every one of us. How she exemplified how much of a profound effect bullying could have on somebody, and just how being tripped up in the hallways, being thrown into lockers, and being made fun of changes a person's perspective on life. Every single day, I read my friends' Facebook feeds. Not that I'm being nosy or anything, but I read them. And I notice a lot of very negative posts on their Facebook page. And I will go out of my way to IM them, and I will ask them, is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about or make sense of? Do you need help making sense of anything? And they will immediately deny it or shut it down. And change the conversation into something else. I do it because I care about them. I do these videos because I care about each and every one of you. As hard as that may be for somebody to actually understand or comprehend, I do these videos because my heart has always been with you, and you guys have forever held a special place in my heart for the passion that we share together for Descendants or Zombies. Whatever franchise, for whatever reason, we're a fan of it. I do these videos because I want to spread a message of kindness and love, because I'm a guy who's never heard the words I love you enough in his life. I've never been in a relationship that I can actually keep. I've had lots of relationships. Through work, professionally, and personally, that people don't even know about. But the thing is, I've never been able to keep anybody because they obviously wanted to aspire to achieve more out of life. And not that I had anything against that, but I just wanted to spread my own message of kindness. And ultimately, I chose you guys over everything that I should have probably never chosen you over. But I did it because you were incredibly supportive of me, and you really helped put the broken pieces of my heart back together. And I can never thank you enough for that. I don't know where that girl is that I love dearly tonight, but I wanted to know that I love her with all of my heart, and I will forever be incredibly supportive of her and indebted to her. In a year's time, I have to go back and help make sense of the situation, but at least for a year we can't be together. But at least if it doesn't work out, I know each and every one of you have forever been by my side, more times than often enough when I didn't feel like I had anybody that ever wanted to listen to me. I know I had each and every one of you, and you will never know how much that means to me as a YouTube creator, because I think one of the most important things to do as a YouTube creator is to establish a friendship with his audience, and that's what a lot of YouTube creators does not do. He or she does not establish a friendship with their audience so that they can understand what their audience wants and appreciates in the way of content, and they don't really know a whole lot about the host. So what I wanted to do was, so that you knew about the guy hosting this show, was I wanted to tie in stories about my personal experiences in my life for the better part of 30 years into my conversations about Descendants and Zombies. So you take something away from this show, which I hope is that you're going to feel inspired by it. Again, I want people like Kylie Cantrell, Ruby Rose Turner, Meg Donnelly to know that I will forever support them and come out swinging every single time the bell goes off. I've done stuff with MMA and UFC too, so not just my professional wrestling background will come into the highlighting of this, but I've had a whole lot of fun being able to talk about Descendants and Zombies the way that I have, and that's why I'll do it again tomorrow morning. I'll do it again tomorrow night, whenever the opportunity presents itself, because I think that there is never enough good things said about Descendants or Zombies. You know, I must have watched The Rise of Red 100 times. I loved everything about it. While people found time in criticizing it and critiquing it with their point of view through their own eyes, I found more good things to say about it than anything that I ever reviewed about Disney in my life. And if there was one niche that I could fall in love with all over again, it would have to be this one. I love it so much. I really do love it so much. And that's why I'm going to be showing you a Zombies interview featuring Meg Donnelly from TikTok, which is a website that I've become very obsessed with. And the graveyard shift is coming up. I have nothing prepared for my shift tonight, and hopefully I won't get bitten tonight. On my right hand, there is a pretty rough cut. But I've been slaying vampires for forever, so I know a thing or two about it, and I'll let you know how my shift goes tonight after the graveyard shift finishes and I jump back on this podcast again tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. Again, I would love for you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I can't emphasize enough how critical it is that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and boost the subscriber count. I love seeing my subscribers going up all the time. And I just wanted to create something special for each and every one of you. It's your choice to subscribe to this YouTube channel or not, but I have a whole lot of fun talking about this and discussing it with you, and I'm just really excited to see where we go from here. So having said that, the sun has officially set. The birds have stopped chirping. I love hearing the birds chirp every morning. That's why I have my window open pretty much all summer. And also to hear the Disney plane landing on my helipatch on top of my roof, because I'm expecting the Descendants cast to touch down any given time to shoot Descendants and zombies out of my backyard. But having said that, I've finished my cup of tea this evening, and I have another, I think, Meg Donnelly interview where she discusses zombies to play for you. I may have played this before, but you can never show this stuff enough, and people never seem to get enough of it. So what do you say we hit the subscribe button, spread our own message of kindness, and watch this video together?
When we were filming, even in like the dance rehearsals, the energy was always through the roof, and I feel like today the stoke levels are just like so high. I feel like it's dead. No, I think it'll feel similar, but also different. It's a new experience, so I'm excited.
When it comes to dance styles, what sets apart daywalkers and vampires?
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to answer that.
What do you think, Trey? How are the daywalkers?
Right. I think the biggest difference. I think the biggest difference in the daywalkers and the vampires' dance movements. I think with the vampires they have a lot of big arm movements. I guess kind of representing the wind. So like you swing your arms around, and I didn't say that correctly, but like that kind of vibe. And then I think the daywalkers in like Big Place to Be especially, I think like we use our fire powers a lot and kind of show that off.
I mean, I think that there's a difference in swag factor between the no. I'm saying like they're both swaggy.
Oh.
Like they're both swag, but I'm saying there's a difference in swag. Like I remember when we were working with Draco to build the numbers and stuff. It was like there's just so many small movements that are like she was talking about being big with your arms and like opening your mouth at certain points. Like there's a moment when I first see Meg and I'm singing the song and I'm like, ah. And so it's like little things like that just signify our characters and kind of separate us and put them apart a little bit.
Miley said at the upfronts that this movie feels a lot like old Disney Channel. Mm-hmm. For you guys, like, what do you think? What elements are bringing back old Disney Channel in this?
I think a lot of it is the music.
Yeah.
I think old Disney has a very iconic sound, and this movie, I think when people see it for the first time, it's gonna feel nostalgic, even though it's the first time they're gonna see it, which is really cool and special. It's just that, there's a lot of rock inspiration in a lot of this music, and I think when people listen, they'll feel right at home.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Meg?
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's in the music. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen kind of like pop rock music in Disney Channel. I think, especially in the Zombies franchise, I feel like we haven't had that yet. And growing up, I feel like for all of us, like it was kind of more like rock on the rock side. So it's really cool to see that come back. And then when like the four of us have songs or something, it's kind of back to the zombie style. So it's like really like the new kids on the block kind of have their own sound, and then we have our own sound too, so it's really cool.
Was there like a specific moment that you guys knew you clicked? Like, was there a meal, a car ride, like, oh my god, wait, these are my people? Was there a moment like that?
From the start. I remember with my first chemistry read with Freya, it sounds so cringy, but we both say it about each other. It's like this. She doesn't think that apparently. No, I'm kidding. But from the start, from that moment in the room at the Disney building, it was like I immediately knew that she was Nova. And then I think that the one big moment with all of us was that table read. I felt like it was full of so many different emotions. It was like Meg, all the OGs, Meg, Chandler, Milo, Kylie, they all got to see everything come together and got to see the relationship between the OGs and the new kids. And so it was really cool. We all got to come together and finally read the script. So
I remember Meg and I both got emotional when we all went out to dinner for the first time. Because we saw ourselves in them, their excitement, their nerves, their,
you know, everything that comes with stepping into this world, and we're just kind of like transported back into that time when we were their age and going through this for the first time. And so I think we were just really proud too to like see them, you know, step in with so much grace and confidence, and really honored to be along the way, you know, to help them with whatever they needed.
Oh my goodness, it is really dark out there tonight and quite spooky. Hey Google, when is the next full moon?
On the website
Check this out.
space.com, they say, when is the next full moon? The next full moon will be on Thursday, July 10th. It will officially reach its full moon phase at 4:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, but local moonrise times vary depending on location.
Isn't that
The
when
moon
the...
will still appear full the night before and after its peak to the casual stargazer.
Isn't that when Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premieres? Talk about a creepy coincidence. Oh man, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening on that night. That's when the next full moon is, July 10th. That is when Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires will premiere on Disney Channel. And Disney Plus, the global premiere, happening less than 24 hours after. And the global premiere is something I'm really excited about. But you guys haven't experienced anything until you have the opportunity and take yourself up on the chance to hunt a horde of vampires. I did it back in the 90s, and I haven't done it since. I do it every night because I have this thing where I believe in supernatural creatures and superheroes. And whenever somebody has the opportunity to be a superhero and save the girl that he loves, they should go to her. No matter if she throws you, closes the window on you every time you climb up through her bedroom window, you should go to her. But a lot of idiots out there don't feel the same way that I do. Guys, I want to thank you so much. And to every idiot out there that's not treating their girl right, you should be ashamed of yourself. And if you're a vampire, I'm coming for you. I've got a lot of honorable mentions to say. But in all seriousness, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. I never ever thought this YouTube channel would see 100 subscribers, much less almost 3,000 subscribers that have been put up on this YouTube channel. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone every single night and talk about how to slay vampires, which I have done successfully for the better part of 30 years, or talk about his love for Descendants and Zombies, which I do. And I hope you love these videos. Hope you think the guy hosting the show is really cool, really sweet, and you're going to hit the subscribe button because of that. Because I can't do these videos without you. You are great fans. The most supportive niche that I could have ever fallen into or discovered has to be this one, the strongest and most incredible force in the entire universe. I'll do you one better, in the entire galaxy. We all share the same moon, and wherever you're looking at that same moon tonight, I want you to know that I love you incredibly for just being here and being you. Whatever a guy says about you or how he feels about you, the best person you can be, or be perceived to be at least, is you. And I want you to know that everything is going to be okay. Just look at the moon and remind yourself that everything is going to be okay. And why, you may ask? Because it has to be. Thank you so much for having made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies for the better part of all of your life. And there is no place I would rather be than right here tonight telling you that everything is going to be all right no matter what you're going through in this life. Because it has to be, and there is no other way. We are in this together, and we are stronger together. So what do you say we take this opportunity to go spread some kindness to someone who needs it? Because there is someone out there just waiting to hear from you. Perhaps not me, but from you, because I got to go hunt a lot of vampires and get them before they get us. But they want to hear it from you. So call that special person in your life. Just tell them you love them for the hell of it. Because every bit of kindness goes so far in this life and further than you could ever fathom to imagine. I am with you, and I am forever going to be supportive of you. I will die a supporter of the Descendants or Zombies. As we look at the same moon tonight, know that everything will be okay, and I will return yet again tomorrow night on this podcast, spreading my message of kindness. Hopefully I won't be infected by a vampire like I was just last night, just a mere, 12 hours ago, and I haven't even got it checked out yet. But I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. Until then, be kind to one another. Bye, YouTube. We will do this again tomorrow night.